Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Moose and welcome to my October 2021 Banlist prediction video for the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Now that we've got the full list of the Megatons, we know crossout designators coming and all the implications of that. Yeah, let's get into what could actually be happening to the meta in the next few weeks once Konami releases that next ban list. So I've got a tier list all ready to go. Let's get into it. So on this tier maker, you can see all the cards that I want to discuss, bar one, which we'll discuss at the end, which is not on this list yet, but we will talk about later. But we're going to go in order and we're going to talk about whether I think these cards will be banned, limited, semi-limited, unlimited, and what cards are just purely on my wish list to stay where they are or where I want them to go. We'll talk about that a bit later. So first of all, I think Astrograph Sorcerer. That card can make it onto the limited list. It does not need to be at 0. It's not going to do anything at 1. Electromite and Astrograph are both at 1 in the OCG. I don't think Astrograph needs to stay banned. A card I do think needs to stay exactly where it is though is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Let's just be honest here. I don't think that card needs to move. It is essentially a Thunder Dragon Link 1 with inbuilt protection. It is a house of a card, and it stops your opponent from adding any cards to their hand apart from drawing. So any searching or anything like that is just offline, and it's a one-sided floodgate. I don't think this card is healthy, especially in the form that it is in. Going to 1 is a big maybe, but honestly, I think this card should just stay banned. Getting on to the next ridiculously overpowered fusion monster, I think in terms of Dragoon, I think it could be banned. I'm not sure, I hope not, because I have a copy of Dragoon, but I think either Dragoon or Red Eyes Fusion is about to get banned. Now I'm discussing Dragoon and Red Eyes Fusion separately to Verte Anaconda. You'll see Anacondas on the list as well, but I think I'm going to discuss them separately because they do different things. Dragoon in and of itself is an oppressive card. It's got crazy protection effects, and it's very difficult to out. So I think either Dragoon or Red Eyes Fusion, I don't know which one, is going to get banned on this list. I'm leaning towards Red Eyes Fusion because while it would make Dragoon still technically playable, it would be a much worse card because there wouldn't be an easy way to get the materials out from your deck. So you'd have to play a lot more focused to get the materials to your hand instead, and I'd much prefer that than Dragoon just being gone completely. Next card to talk about is Drytron Nova, and to be honest I don't think they're going to touch this card, so I'm just going to leave it in Unlimited. To be honest, I wasn't going to talk about it in this ban list video, but it kind of got left on the things that I was considering for this ban list video, so, you know, I just made the best of it. Then in terms of Electromite, right? I think honestly Electromite could go to 1. But knowing Konami does not want Electromite back, honestly I think for the last couple of ban lists, if we've had Mirage Stalio come back, right? If we've had Engage come back, we can have Electromite come back, because you can loop Engage so many times. You can't really loop one Electromite that much, can you? It's not really that easy. So honestly I think Electromite could come back to 1, but, and here's the but, if Astrograph comes back to 1, I think Electromite coming back to 1 will be on the wish list. So for now I'm going to leave Electromite on the limited slot, but it is a big if. Next up is Ava, and that thing is just banned. Just ban it. Just don't ever bring it back. It's way too strong. It gives way too much extension to Drytron and they really don't need it. Fractal, I think it could get limited, honestly. It does set you up for link plays. It is a crazy extender, so I think Fractal to 1 would be a reasonable move. Harp Horror, yeah, we're just keeping that banned, to be honest. For my part, I think Orcust is already a crazy enough engine as it is. It does not need Harp Horror. We don't need tier 1 Orcust again. Like, we've had that before. I've played through that before. Don't want that happening again. So, Harp Horror, sincerely, stay there. And joining it, I think Imperial Order should join it, right? I do not think Imperial Order needs to be a card. This card just switches off so much of your engine, right? Now, you can talk about something like Royal Decree, right, versus Imperial Order. Why is Royal Decree fine at 3, but Imperial Order's, you know, at 1, even though arguably Imperial Order has more cost in the player using it? Well, number 1, Royal Decree only works on traps, and most decks are not playing traps as cornerstones of their strategies. They're playing them as more extenders or, you know, just sort of tech cards. Because spells, let's be honest, make up the core of what we do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster effects and spell effects. So by switching off essentially more than a third of the usable cards in someone's deck, Imperial Order is just crazy advantage, and I don't think is healthy for this game. So Imperial Order, banned, sorry, that's my opinion. Meltdown I think will go to 1 if they do hit it. I don't think they're going to hit Meltdown, but if they do, I think they'll hit it to 1. It's so good of a card for fusions, and just for protecting your fusion monsters, it's such a good card. So yeah, I think Meltdown to 1 might be the move, just to hit the consistency of the package. Right. If there's a slot above banned, let's put Mystic Mind there, right? Because, I don't know if any of you know this, but I was doing a sealed-only series on Twitch. We just finished that tonight. We're going with the next one next week, Sunday. I played down 30 turns of Mystic Mine, where I eventually lost to a deck out, because even through my 3 Twin Twisters and a Harpy's Feather Duster, mine stayed up. Thanks to 3 Solemn Judgments and a Magic Jammer. Didn't even know Magic Jammer was still being played in any decks, but anyway, I now have that on my record. I lost to a deck using Magic Jammer, mainly because of Mystic Mine. To be fair, he was also playing Summon Limit and there can only be 1, but, you know, Mystic Mine. So yeah, ban the card, don't ever bring it back, tear up every copy you've got, and just burn the ashes. It's fine. Nadir Servant, probably going to go to 1 if they hit Dogmatica. Maybe on the next ban list, maybe not on this one. But I hope it doesn't go to 1, I really, really do. I hope that it stays at 3. It's a crazy good card for Dogmatica, and it's such a good extender. But sadly, all good things will probably have to come to an end, so I think Nadir Servant to 1 might be the hit we're seeing, similar to things like Salamangreat Gazelle, Servant of Endemium, Salamangreat Circle, all those kind of cards getting hit to 1. Herald with the Orange Light, I think, needs to be banned as well. Now, bear in mind, when I talk about hitting 2 cards from the same deck, usually I mean either or, right? So I'm going to put Orange Light next to Ava just to say either ban Ava or ban Orange Light, right? I don't think both need to be banned, but I do think one of them needs to be banned, because they set up each other's plays way too well and they protect each other way too well. So I think Drytron losing one of these could be really good, so hopefully at least one gets banned. Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo. I don't know if I said that right, but it's a very annoying name for a very annoying card. It's a crazy extender. You contribute it, get your Prank Kids back from your graveyard to your hand, set up your combo to go all over again, and if you get interrupted, as long as you have 1 card, like if your opponent imperms or veilers you, you can just go into Meow Meow again, do everything, and get another one on board to then trigger the effect. Limiting this card would at least limit the loops that this card can do, so, you know, I think limiting it to 1 is sort of a kindness. Prank Kids Grind Game is already annoying enough. Let's not do this again. Let's not do it another format. Rademd. Talking about Rademd, Unlimited. It's been errated. It can't be used more than once per turn. I think playing this card at 3 is really fine. I don't think people are going to play it at more than 1 anyway. Salamangreat Circle. I think semi-limited would be the way that they're going to go on this one. I don't think they're going to hit it to 3 straight away, because putting it to 3 is quite a lot. Some people are suggesting it should stay limited. Honestly, I think this card can come to 2. Salads haven't done that much. Even if this card got unlimited though, right, to be honest, it would just be a more consistent way to make an Abiru token at the end of your turn, so I don't think it'll be unlimited, but I think if they're going to do anything to it, semi-limiting it is the way they're going to go. Then, Shaddoll Schism. My predictions, I'm going to put it there with the other Invoked Dogmatica cards. I think they're going to hit 1 or 2 of these cards to 1. I don't think they're going to hit all 3, but I think they're going to hit at least one of these down to 1, but I don't think any of them are getting banned. Servant of Endemium, right? Honestly, I think this card can be unlimited, but since I know that's not going to happen, I'm putting that in my wish list, but just wanted to emphasize, I think this card can be unlimited. I don't think it's going to be doing anything. Having 3 servants is a great searcher, like being able to use Servant is an amazing search card, but honestly, you can, if the Servant gets ashed, you can't use the second Servant that turn anyway, and yeah, Pendulums are really not doing anything. While I think Servant is a great card for the deck, it's not going to raise the ceiling of the deck enough to make it compete with the top meta contenders. So I think Servant coming to 3 is really fine. Then, talking about Tri-Brigade Shureg and Tri-Brigade Revolt, let's just put those both up there with Fractal, as in I think one of these three cards needs to get limited, so I don't know which one it's going to be, but one or two of them going to 1 I think would be a good hit to the deck. Then, in terms of Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda, I'm going to put that card to 1 as well. I think Verte going to 1 is an okay move. Most people don't run more than 1 anyway. I don't think Verte should be banned, and I don't think Verte is gonna be banned, right? Because you've got the new Destiny Hero monster, which Fusion Destiny is really good at working with, and Verte can use Fusion Destiny as well. Now, while I may be a bit biased when I say this, I don't want Verte to be banned, because I think it's a really cool card for extending Fusion decks specifically. I think there are problem cards like Dragoon or this new Destiny Hero that make it very, very broken. But Verte in and of itself is a really cool extender for any kind of fusion plays, so seeing it hit to 1 is kind of where I'm hoping. Last 2 cards, Virtual World City Kowloon, honestly just because, I wanted to hit Virtual World, and I found Kowloon very irritating to play against, because essentially it just is a free Virtual World gate for your opponent, and I don't like that. Like, being able to search out King Long, being able to search out any of the gates that you need in that specific situation, and for the traps specifically, not having to wait a turn, setting them and then flipping them, just being able to flip them straight and get the effects with no lead time. It's kind of crazy and kind of annoys me. Like, Virtual World just annoys me as a deck, so I want to hit Kowloon to 1, but that's sort of more wishlist vibes, I just thought I'd throw it in there. And then in terms of the last card on this list, El Shaddoll Winder, right? I think they might hit this card to 1 because of the loops with Schism and things like that, but I don't actually think so. That's what I've been hearing, that's what people are saying. I'm going to put Winder on my unlimited wishlist. I hope it's going to stay unlimited. I don't think hitting Winder would be something they do. Winder specifically is a lot less hectic than Dragoon or Colossus or anything like that. So I think Winder staying at 3 is fine, but if they do hit it, it's either going to be limited or banned. I really hope they don't. But like I said, there was one card that I want to discuss that is not on this list actually. And that card's MAXX, right? So let's just switch the screen and talk about MAXX. So Crossout Designator is a card now because of the Megatons, right? And we know by the time this list drops, the Megatons will be live, so Crossout Designator will be in our meta. Now, I don't think MAXX should come back. I think that card can stay banned for the rest of time and it'll be fine. But I was watching a Distant Coder stream earlier and he made a very interesting point, which I think actually makes sense, that if MAXX were ever to come back, this would be the format for it to come back in any capacity, whether it's at 1, 2, or 3. I think MAXX to 3 is the only fair way to bring it back. It should stay at 0, but if you are going to bring it back to 3, that way everyone has an equal chance of seeing it. So I don't want to see MAXX back. I think it could come back. I don't want it to at all. But I think if we're ever going to see it come back, Coder was right, we'll see it come back this format. So fingers crossed we don't see it come back this format so that that little bug can stay squashed on the ban list forever. Now, if you like the video, make sure to leave a like. Leave a comment telling me, do you think I messed up? Do you think my take is right? Do you think it's wrong? What cards do you think should go onto the ban list or come off that I haven't spoken about? And make sure to subscribe if you like the content. Thanks everyone. See you next time.